freaking CEO, thank you, whoever did that. Our freaking CEO came to Brainerd, Minnesota, you guys. That's a big deal. And you better believe, like, we lived it up from the time he arrived on Tuesday to when he left Wednesday. And there's so much in that time that I want to like be able to put into words and share with you guys. Because getting to do dinner with him, like that was an unexpected surprise. And he brought so much good insight and thought-provoking conversation to that dinner table. And that's one of my favorite things is getting around the dinner table, getting to have good conversation just like we are doing here and like we did on Monday Motivation. Um, like when you can surround yourself with the people that can inspire you to think a little bit bigger and go beyond or outside of your normal thought process to create a different kind of um, result, that's where it's at. And so, dinner with him on Tuesday, we got to ask some questions about like what's in the future for Plexus, like what is coming next. And the information that he shared just about like the technology piece and what we're going to see change from like the customer profile is going to be huge. You guys stick around for that because he verified like they are ready to move us into the future, right? And so like that is just exciting to know that our company is hearing us. They know our concerns and they're like, "Yep, we have a solution and we're fixing this." Um so even just some small things like that were so exciting to get to be a part of in that conversation. Um and then on Wednesday, gosh, Wednesday was a combination of all things leadership training and filming a diamond documentary. Now, I don't know if you all know quite what that is or what the extent of that is, but when you hit diamond, the top rank in our company, they come and do like a mini documentary on your life and sharing what it is that you do day to day and how it was that you created this business, the team that has been alongside you. And so getting to do that with Emily Lothar was, I mean, nothing short of amazing. I've watched hundreds, and when I say hundreds, I mean hundreds of diamond documentaries. When I was working my full-time job, I would watch them every single day. I would sit in my office and I would just listen to them on replay and replay and replay because I needed to know that I was capable of doing that. Now, at the time, I truly just thought I would go emerald. I didn't know I was ready or could do more than that. Emerald was just my like line of sight. But I'm here to tell you guys, start freaking dreaming. Okay? There is no time to waste for that. You have a life to get out there and live. Do it now. So go find some diamond documentaries after this and allow yourself 10 minutes every single night just to watch a new one. Every single night. I don't care if they relate to you immediately or if they're like totally outside of your norm. Go find some. Go build some belief and watch those and then plant some seeds because there's other people out there that need to know about it too, right? Start having that CEO mindset yourself. Okay. So there's that. And then leadership training, you guys. So we had Emily Lothar speak, another diamond, Wendy Larson speak, Jean Tips, and then myself. And so we had so much to take away in a 3-hour period of such relatable content, but things that we can apply today. Okay. It doesn't matter what rank you are. I don't care if you're a silver or if you're a diamond. These are things that apply to every single one of us. Okay. So I think the best thing that for us to do is kind of just go through. Em and I are going to take pieces from each speaker that we enjoyed and kind of share with you guys. And then at the very end, we can do some like quick Q&A. I just want to be mindful of time. So I'm sticking to 30 minutes. And then Megan, if you want to interject with some things too, totally feel free. Okay. I'll have you kick us off.
Okay, so I was just paging through. We got this little notebook. She put stickers all over the table for us to decorate it with, but I wanted the stickers for other things. But from Gene Tips, I really paid attention to what he was saying. I watched him speak. I wanted to just hear and feel everything that he was saying and how he was feeling. So instead of opening my notebook and writing things down, I just watched and listened. But I wrote one thing down, and it's backwards. It says, "A rising tide lifts all boats." This is literally my Gene Tips notes page. A rising tide lifts all boats. I didn't need more notes than that from him. I have all of the memory of his emotion deep in everything that he talked about, but this one was so huge that I had to write it down. You guys, this means that me working my butt off to get to Emerald doesn't not benefit you guys. Jen Lee working her butt off to work towards Sapphire does not only benefit her, it benefits everyone on this team because you're working and you're working and you're working, and all of you are working together to raise where we're at, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. That is something that will stick with me in every aspect forever. And then Wendy went through the 10 lies of network marketing, and we don't have time for me to go through all of them, but there was one that I just noticed that stuck out. It was number 9. And so it was one of the lies of network marketing. And the lie is, we work really hard. And I was like, excuse me, I do work really hard. And so then I wrote down some more notes below it. And it says, yes, for a season or to get to the top. So yes, we work hard for a little while and then we take breaks, or we work hard to get to the top and then we get there and we stop. Right? And then you fall back. And another thing that I wrote below this was, would you work differently if you paid $20,000 to get into this? You guys paid, what was it? $1, $10, maybe $20 to get into this. If you paid $20,000, would you be working differently? If you invested your life savings into this business, would you be working differently? The answer is yes. Work like that. Because if you invest into a $20,000 business, you have the potential to become multimillionaire. You have that potential here. You have the potential to make $50K a month like Marianne does. She makes more than that, I think. And then I starred this, and it says, you cannot freedom your way to freedom. In this business, yes, it's about time freedom. It's about having the ability to work from anywhere, to be with your kids, to go to a sports meeting like I did tonight, to do all the things. You have the freedom to do that, but it's not just a freedom business. You still have to send the messages. You still have to be in your 3-way. You still have to update your nickname, because even though it sounds petty, it really does make a difference. You have to do the things. You have to run numbers. You have to write them down. You have to do analysis, because those are what grow your business. You cannot freedom your way to freedom. If you just live and work your business as a time freedom business, then you're not spending enough time working your business, and you're never going to actually have the time freedom. I wrote down a couple of notes. I think this is, I don't know who this one is from, but do the thing you're resisting or avoiding. I think this is still from Wendy. Do the thing that you're avoiding, the scary thing. What's scary? For a lot of us, it's doing lives, or like I said on one of our FaceTime calls earlier, actually calling people. That's scary to me. That's hard. I've never done that. I've never called someone and said, hey, let's order. I need to do that. Do the things you're avoiding. Know your why. Your customers are amazing, but we can't build on them forever. Share a vision. Do business on your stories. Duplication is important, not just having customers. So you want to be recruiting people to do this with you. You want to share the vision, and you have to know your why in order to do that. Start over on yourself, being a business builder. Oh, this one was really good. You don't get paid for the number of hours you put in. You get paid on the amount of energy. So there are a lot of times when people have asked me about doing the business and they're like, well, how much time do you spend doing it? Even John asked me when we were applying for daycare assistants a long, long time ago. And he's like, well, what hours do you work? And I was like, I don't know. Well, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go to bed at 11. All that. I'm pretty much working all that. I can't say that I work 800 hours a day. And I couldn't tell someone else that because I'm not working constantly that whole time, but I am thinking about Plexus pretty much the whole day. I am figuring out different ways to do things, what I should document, answering chats, but that's not what I'm getting paid on. I'm getting paid on how good am I doing in those chats? How good do I do on these types of Zoom calls? How good are my stories? Are they drawing attention to people? Are my posts getting people to look at them? Things like that. So, and then from Jen's, I feel like I wrote down word for word everything she said because I have like 17 pages of notes. The one thing that I really liked that Jen said was speed date your team. Get to know your team. Because when you have a relationship with the people that are below you, they trust you and they're willing to put in the things. If someone's having a bad day, like if I was having a bad day right today and I just was off in my chat and Jen and Megan weren't like, girl, what is going on? And I vent and then I get it out and then I'm over it. Where if I don't have that confidence in them, if I don't trust them, I'm not going to go tell them, you know what, this happened this morning. I got in a fight with my husband, or my kid did this thing, or, I was overwhelmed with my littles. I'm not going to tell them those things if I don't trust them. And if I don't trust them, I can't open up, get it off my chest, and move on. So speed date your team, get to know them, build that trust, create that relationship. And another thing that I loved, I think, did this come from M. Lothert? I don't remember, but your new business builders are your different streams of income. So another one of the lies in network marketing was don't put all your eggs in one basket. Meaning spread yourself through different areas, like doing all the different things to get different forms of income, like having a job and having a backup plan and having all of this. That's not it. Your streams of income are your business builders. Those are where your different streams of income come from. It doesn't come from doing 15 different jobs. It doesn't come from I had this conversation earlier on a FaceTime call. It doesn't come from doing different network marketing things. It doesn't come from all of that. It comes from building up one really solid. You can't get a side job and make $1 million. You're not going to make $1 million being a bartender. You're not going to make $1 million being a waitress. You're not going to make $1 million doing 4 different network marketing companies. But if you do this one and you do it with passion and grit and drive, you can make $1 million. I don't know. I think that's all I got.
That was so good. And like that last part is one of my favorite parts of that whole thing. Like, I don't know why it was just like, I don't know, such an epiphany, but like you see some people who are like, oh, I'm going to continue doing Plexus, but I'm going to make t-shirts on the side. I'm going to do tumblers on the side. I'm going to make candles. And there's nothing wrong with any of that because some of that is passion and it lets your creativity out in a different way, right? So I'm not knocking anybody that does that. But at the same time, just like Em said, it's not going to help you grow your Plexus business. So people are thinking, oh, I need additional streams of income. I need additional streams. Think of Biz Builders as that. Truly, like you have a business model and a compensation plan that will literally pay you for doing what you're already doing right now 10 times over. You can do it as many times as you want. There's no cap, right? Like you can literally do that. And that's just like the podcast that was sent in the Jewel chat today about you can 10x your business. And you literally can. Like if you did it once, do that times 10, do that times 20, however many. So I think that's such a huge opportunity that people don't realize that we have with this business model and our comp plan. And we get paid really well to do that. The other thing that I wanted to mention too, that was very eye-opening to me is, and sorry, Jen or Em, if you guys were going to talk about this one, it was the financial stability of the company, right? So they talked about, obviously we've seen other network marketing companies switch to affiliate marketing or get rid of their, program completely, where you basically now you just have a link. You don't have a team anymore, you just have a link. And for some people that was detrimental. That's tens of thousands of dollars that are just gone every month now. And there's a lot of that happening in this industry. And so to hear Jean say that that is not going to happen and will not happen was really helpful. But then also they talked about like, okay, if for some weird reason we got tied up in like legalities, right? We got somehow tied up in legal, how long could they pay their ambassadors? Like, and I don't know if this is something we can like officially like post about because it seems like a under the table kind of number, but someone had said, I heard a rumor you could pay every single ambassador that you have right now on your books for 2 years. And Jean was like, oh, way more than that. Maybe 3 years. Can you think of that? Well, you guys, we've talked about how much Marianne makes, how much Trisha makes, how much Jen Cobb. I mean, I've literally seen Emily Lothard's paycheck. I ask for screenshots all the time to share with people. Like literally, I mean, just between those 4 people, you're talking well over $100,000. That's 4 people. Okay. So like, you think of that times the 50,000 ambassadors they have, and they can pay us for 3 years if we could never do a sale again. Can you think of like how much money that means they have in the bank? Like we are very financially stable. And that right there is what some people need to hear to have the trust in the company that this isn't like a scam or we're going to go bankrupt or we're going to go under or whatever. To me, that was just being the numbers and the finance person. Like that was so cool for me to hear too.
I agree. When he said that number, I think all of our jaws dropped. We were like, wait, what? You're telling me I could not do a single thing for 3 years and I would be paid my same salary right now for 3 years? Like that, mind-boggling to me. You will never, ever find another job that will give that to you. Okay, so a couple of my takeaways. So with Jean, something that I really leaned into with him is hearing him say, I have this voice that like sits right over here and tells me I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I'm not the right person for the job. All of these other things, and in multiple capacities of his life, right? So he started out as a nobody, if you will. He didn't have a reputation. He didn't have the background. He didn't have the things. He just found himself in a space with people, and he was willing to ask the questions. He was willing to become the expert. He was willing to put himself out there in a vulnerable way, maybe look dumb a time or two, but at the end of the day, it brought him to like next level, to where each time he continued to level up in his role. And each time he said, I had this voice over here telling me I'm not enough. I'm not the right person for the job. I'm not good enough. They're not going to like me, right? And I think there's so many of us here in this group that can identify with that, that can relate in more ways than we'd probably like to admit. But what is different is, again, like I said, he allowed himself to get vulnerable, to ask the questions, to become the expert. You have that ability too. You do, but you have to make that decision to do it. Nobody else can do that for you. We can talk all day about belief and dreams and ranks and paychecks. But if your mindset is garbage and you stay in that, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, this is too hard, I'm not the right person, blah, 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 it's going to stay that way. You will never, ever, ever get a different result until that changes. So I challenge each of you, decide to make a change. Okay. Ask the questions, get passionate, go to your sponsors, go to your leaders, talk to other people within Plexus, figure out what is it that they're doing. We have Sideline Sisters for a reason. Align yourself with the people that are going to get you to the places you want to go. Okay. Let's see. Then Wendy went next. And like Em said, she did the 10 lies of network marketing. One that was very standout-ish to me was the lie is you need to have influence to be successful. And there's a couple things about this that Jean intertwined with, and I kind of talked about in my own topic too, but we're in network marketing. Okay. The like nitty gritty of that is networking with people. If you listened to Jean's speech, he said, we are in a connection crisis. We have to get around the table just like this. We have to start being in people's faces, right? That's why we talk so much about do the lives, call the person, do a FaceTime, do an event that's out of your comfort zone. Get in front of people so that they can meet you. Any single person can copy to paste a post, right? Any single person can copy paste a message that is like, hey, Sue, haven't heard from you in a while. If you wanted to get back on your product, I can get you $30 off your order. That's a copy paste, right? But they need to connect to you. Network with your people. Get them invested in you. You are what makes the difference. Okay, not your social media, not whether you're using Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is your ability to connect. That's what it comes down to. So for me personally, you guys, my Facebook, when I started, I had 300 Facebook friends. I am an emerald at 300 Facebook friends. Now tell me again that you need to have a network in order to do this. I kept my circle very, very small. I did not like people. I became overwhelmed by a lot of people knowing all of my things. And I kept my space small for a reason. Until I started this business, until I really started digging in and I recognized the fact how I can connect with people and literally change their life. Yes, exactly. Instagram when you started. Exactly. When you recognize what you have at your fingertips, it is not about selling anything to anybody. That will never ever be what I am doing here with this company. I can help people be provided with products that can change their health. I am just a doorway to that, but I am not selling anything to anybody. And so if that's what you feel you're doing, that's where we need to change that, right? That's where we need to change your approach, your verbiage, how you're doing it. Connect with your people. Let's see, next with me, what are my own things that I wrote down? I think one of the biggest things for me that I had talked about was, we kind of joke, like I heard it, I feel like a lot when I started this business is like, it's so fun. Like in this business, we actually get to pick the people that we want to work with. I was in a full-time job. I didn't care for the people that I worked with, right? And so they kind of used that as like some ammo of like, but just think when you quit your job, you get to pick the people that you work with. You get to spend your days with me, right? And so and so and so and so. And I'm like, okay, you're right. That's a perk. But as I've become a leader, I've also recognized that you have that ability too. You have that ability to say, I want to work with Jen Lee, or I want to work with Emily Lurkin. Now it's up to us as leaders to have our people want to work with us, right? So one of the things that Em Lothar had talked about, she said, let me find it. We have a responsibility to be committed to teaching others this business and teaching them this compensation plan. And I feel that as a good leader, you can do these things and it has a team that's invested, right? And can pull kind of in and out of the deep end or really celebrate those high momentums and then come back out of it and get back up again, right? So kind of in that, yeah, just saying that it's your responsibility to dig with your team. If you're feeling a disconnect, or you know, somebody maybe just isn't feeling that belief, dig in with them and figure it out. Take the time, invest in them. They are a human too, just fighting for their dreams, just like you, right? So it doesn't matter your rank. It doesn't matter if you're a silver just getting started and you don't have a biz builder yet. These are things that are important from the groundwork, setting a foundation for a strong business, a strong team, right? So earlier in the 100+ chat, I had shared that in 30 days, we leave for my second Emerald Extravaganza. And there, like, I have so many feelings about that because my very first time ever, like, even knowing about Emerald Extravaganza, I said, I will never, ever miss that trip. I'm going. It's going to be our anniversary date or honeymoon, because we never took one. And I missed it. I did not even come close, but it hurt. It was so hard to miss out on that and see other leaders go. Well, then I got to go last year for the first time, nothing short of amazing. But at that event, I said, I will have a team with me next time I come here. And freaking Emily Lurkin is going to Emerald Extravaganza in Hawaii with Megan and I in 30 days. But you guys, like, that's not enough. That's not enough because there's a whole slew of you right here on this call with me right now who deserve to be there in a year's time. Okay. And like, that's where I just want it to become so like connected. So in Em Lothart's, her speech was so much about pushing your excuses out of the way and allowing those excuses to be your reason. And you guys, my reason has changed 10 times over again since I've started this business. It did not start out as I'm going to become a stay-at-home mom. And let me tell you, even still today, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Is this what I wanted? I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't know yet. I don't know. And that is a part of like what is still ever changing for me. I have created options. I have put myself in a position 3 years down the road where I'm like, okay, I've got choices. What do I want to do next? But to me, right now, that is bringing a team of you into places like these. And so that means I'm going to be having more vulnerable conversations with those people that tell me they want to go there. Do those sometimes feel hard and uncomfortable? Yes. Do those sometimes feel a little bit spicy? Yes, absolutely. But always know that you have a support alongside you in this. Like, we always are going to have your best interest in mind. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, go live, go live, go live, go live for no good reason, right? Like, it is that connection building piece. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, go make some new friend requests, go do an event. I'm not going to tell you those things if they have no like grit behind them. Same with your projections. Have a runway to knowing where you're going. That's literally what that is. Your map and your rounds are a runway, whatever you want that to be. But don't just say the words. Don't just say, I'm going to be an emerald by convention next year. You have to put in the action, okay? And it's going to be hard. It's going to be nitty gritty in the deep, like pull up those sleeves because we're going in, okay? Like literally. It was not sunshine and rainbows at all times. And I want you to be okay with that. I don't want to set a false expectation of what that looks like. Okay. I don't know how much time we have left because I had a thing pop up saying you have so many minutes left, but I don't know at what point that was. So we'll just do a really quick Q&A. If you guys want to come off mute, you can, or if there's anything that you just want to say, go for it. Okay,
I
great
just
call,
wanted
guys.
to,
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to thank you guys for like taking the time to bring us the information, share with us your takeaways. It's so insightful to hear from you guys, but then also like relatable as well. And so many of the things that you guys talked about. And so I just want to thank you for taking the time to do that for us.
I have one more thing that I'll say. It just kind of feeds off something that Jen had said earlier. And I think it was M. Lothert that was talking about it. And talking about working with your team. This is a choice. Are you committed with no excuses? Are you doing the things to check off the boxes, or are you doing them to build your business? You can't coach off IPA. So the IPA sheets that we send, they're a checklist. Those are things that need to be done. Yes, it needs to be done, but it needs to be personal. You can't just say, oh, I messaged 4 people. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Courtney. That's not how it works. It has to be personal. Are you doing this with passion, or are you doing this robotic? I get to a point in my morning, every single morning I post my pink drink on my story, whether I do a video of it or just a boomerang of it or just a selfie with it. But it got to a point where every single morning I was doing the same exact video every single day. Now I change it up. I try at least once or twice a week to talk when I'm making it. I try at least once or twice a week to make it only a boomerang. And when it's a boomerang, then I do a selfie afterwards. And then I talk a little bit about the pink drink, but just trying to change it up a little bit so that every morning people are like, ooh, wonder what she's going to do now. Like pretty soon I need to get Archer mixing them up with me because tons of people loved that. Uh-oh, chaos is about to break loose. I can hear it. And then another thing was your team will always emulate what you're doing. If you're not doing it, they're not doing it. And I can tell you guys, this is the truth. Because when I'm not doing the things, none of y'all are doing the things either. And I know it. And I know it and I see it. And then I'm like, get your together. You got to do the things because that's what makes this work. Teamwork makes the dream work. But we have to all do the things intentionally, passionately together.
So good. So good, Em. Okay. Thank you guys so much for doing this call with